So, everyone's favorite feature is finally back. Z-moves. Megas. So, are you excited?
You're goddamn right.
I think we can all agree that Mega Evolution is simply the coolest and hands down the best gimmick they added to Pokemon. So enough with the jibber jabber, let's just get straight into it. Here are the top 10 Megas we need in Pokemon Legends ZA, ranked worst to best. So, coming in the number 10 spot, we got our favorite and only dragon from Generation 1, Dragonite. Okay, hands down, we're getting a Mega Dragonite. There is no way Game Freak does not give Dragonite a Mega in Pokemon Legends ZA. They have been giving so much love to other Kanto Pokemon, and you know Game Freak is biased to Kanto. And since Generation 1, there are only 19 more Pokemon that have been untouched in terms of evolutions, alternate forms, and Mega and Gigantamax forms. Let's just kick out Ditto and Mew as well because one's a gimmick Pokemon and Mew's a mythical, so they're both unlikely to get Megas. So most of the Pokemon that are left now are pretty boring. I mean, I would love to see Nidoking and Nidoqueen get Megas, but let's be real, Dragonite, that's the one. And probably the most likely too, since other pseudo-legendaries have gotten Megas. If Dragonite was to Mega Evolve, I would love to see it take on a more, shall I say, a more aggressive design. Going from Dragonair to Dragonite just felt like a weird transition phase from like Cool Dragon to Barney. I mean, it does look pretty cute, but let's try to fix that. For Megas, I would prefer them to look a little bit more powerful. Now, I think these two designs do them pretty well. One leads more to that aggressive style, and one leans more towards that Dragonair really cool dragon style. For typings, I can see it sticking with Dragon Flying, or exchanging that flying type with the fighting type, or even with Dragonair's ears, it kind of looks like a fairy type. Normal is definitely a possibility, and pray to Arceus we don't get another dark dragon type, please.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
Going over its stats, Dragonite's already pretty damn bulky, and pairs pretty well with its multi-scale ability. These are the stats I would give Mega Dragonite. Of course, upping that attack stat to hit harder, and then those defense stats to make it even more bulky, and because of its extreme speed gimmick, it doesn't really need more speed, but just because. Coming in number 9, probably the most wanted Mega from Generation 4, that I could think of anyway, it's Luxray. Its design is just so freaking cool. Every single Pokemon fan on this planet wants to see Mega Luxray, let's be real. Many have theorized about it becoming a dark type, which it definitely would suit. It really is the only type I can really see it becoming. Now, there were so many deserving Pokemon from Generation 4 to get a Mega Pokemon, but if you were like anyone else, you used Luxray in Generation 4 and your team looks something like this, or with some slight variation. Now, unlike most Pokemon that got Megas, this one actually needs it, like it's really bad. It's such an insanely cool design. Competitively, it performs like a Magikarp on land. Like you're better off using a Rattata with Endeavor, for real. So Game Freak, let's fix that. The only thing it has going for itself is that it has a really good ability and pretty good attack stat. To be fair though, that's kind of the problem. Physical electric type attackers just don't do very good. Look at the move pool electric types have access to for physical moves. Horrendous. So to make this thing actually competitively viable, I think it's going to need the Mega Beedrill treatment. We're going to have to rearrange these stats here, on top of that giving it that 100 base stat total boost. So let's just turn this thing into a super fast offensive sweeper. Let's minus 30 from its special attack and put into its attack stat. A little bit of bulk, mainly focusing on attack and speed. Move aside Mega Rayquaza, we got another king in town. Coming in number 8, we probably have my second favorite Pokemon from Generation 9. It's Tinkaton. This thing's just so freaking cute and adorable, and just, I love it to death. I so desperately wanted to get a Mega, and I know I'm not the only one either. It's definitely one of the cutest and coolest new designs from all of Pokemon, rivaling even Pikachu and Eevee. Yeah, I said it. I really freaking love this design for Mega Tinkaton. It looks so freaking cool, and it suits it so well. It kind of follows that whole trope, what's better than one sword? 2 swords. What's better than 1 hammer? 2 hammers. I really do like this design as well, just following another trope. Just make it bigger. Bigger is always better. What would you prefer? The 2 hammers or just the 1 really big hammer? I can't decide. Now let's talk about it competitively. Okay, first off, hands down, it's keeping the Fairy Steel typing. It's just so broken. One of the best types in the game. It also has a really good move pool and also has a signature attack, Gigaton Hammer. But here lies the problem. It has one of the best attacks in the game at 160 base power, but it only has 75 base attack, and this is where Mega Tingaton comes into play. I'm not sure if people would like my approach, but what I would do is slow it way down to work in Trick Room, and just going all out in attack, buffing it to 175, subtracting 50 from speed, and putting 25 in both its defenses. Coming in number 7, we got Megainum. Technically all Johto starters, but yo, let's be real here, Megainum. This thing needs help. What am I talking about? Forget help. This thing needs straight up CPR. What am I talking about? CPRs for things that are alive. This thing was dead on arrival. Okay, Game Freak, how do we fix this mess? Forget about design. Design is just another story. Let's just get straight into the stats. Yeah, just straight disgusting. Nothing good here, nothing to see here. Keep moving. I think what I would do is just give it the Venusaur treatment. Give it Thick Fat as an ability. That already half the damage by fire and ice type super effective moves. I don't think there's any point in trying to make Megainum an offensive sweeper, so let's just play into the already bulky thing it's got going on. Looks like it's trying to be a mixed attacker, so I'll just add 10 to each of its attack stats, 10 to speed, and then just divide the rest between its defense stats. And Megainum isn't being served well by its mono grass typing, so let's change that. So let's give it one of the best types in the game, that being Dragon and Fairy. I do think the Fairy type suits Megainum a bit more, and at this point in the game, the Fairy type is a little bit more broken, and Megainum needs all the help it can get, so I would go with the Fairy type. Sliding into the number 6 spot, we got everyone's favorite fire type bird, TalonFlame. I think we can all agree that TalonFlame is probably the best regional bird up there with Corviknight and Staraptor. And we are heading back to Kalos, so we need some Kalos love on this list. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the only Kalos Pokemon to get a Mega Evolution was Mega Diancie. So going back to the Kalos region, over 10 years later, I'm sure we're going to see quite a few handful of Mega Evolutions for the Kalos Pokemon. Now, if we all remember the glory days of Talonflame, it was absolutely insane. It was a brave birding monster, but then in Generation 7, it got hit with a nerf hammer, a hammer I think that was too hard to be honest. Instead of Gale Wings only working when you're full health, I feel like it should have been when you're half health and above. That would have been a good compromise in my opinion. Maybe we can see it return to its former glory with a Mega Evolution. Now, its attack stat surprisingly is only 81, and it was already doing massive amounts of damage, one-hit KOing Pokemon, so you know what we gotta do, right? Let's massively increase that attack stat. Let's just throw a peasant 60% of its stats into the attack stat. It's already insanely fast, but let's just give it another 20, and then let's just throw the remaining 20 into its defense stats. I know it really doesn't make much sense, but I'm kind of tempted to want to remove the flying type from Talonflame single-handedly because of Stealth Rocks. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Okay, coming in a number 5 slot. I mean, you're not surprised, it's the legendary. I mean, you know they're getting Megas. And Xerneas and Yveltal, especially Yveltal, is sick. Can't deny that fact. This design for Mega Xerneas is absolutely incredible. This is exactly how I would envision a Mega Xerneas to look like. Can you even imagine a Mega Xerneas with Geomancy? It might just break the game. Now, typing wise, I can see it picking up the grass type, but although I'd prefer it to stay fairy type. This Pokemon's already beyond broken. Overall though, the stats are relatively pretty evenly spread out, so let's just kind of do more of the same. I would add 20 into its speed, 10 in both of its attack stats, and then just throw the rest into its defense stats. I think for Xerneas and Yveltal, their designs are already so good that you really don't have to change them too much. I think this Mega Yveltal does it justice, and I would love to see something like this for the Mega Evolution. So Xerneas and Yveltal actually have the exact same stats, so for the Megas, I would just copy and paste. It's practically what Game Freak would do anyway, let's be honest. And once again, just like Xerneas, I think I would just keep the original typing. Now I could cover Zygarde here too, but that could be a whole other video in itself. Let me know if you want to see that. Now for number 4, we got Ceruledge and Armarouge. Let's be real, I'm mainly just talking about Ceruledge. When this Pokemon was first introduced in the trailers, it stole all our hearts. Ever since that trailer dropped, we knew exactly who was going to be in our party during our first playthrough of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and we knew who wouldn't be. Sorry, Armarouge. You can go kick some rocks. Nah, I only kid. Armarouge is a fantastic design as well. A pretty sweet idea actually would be to fuse them just like Iron Valiant. I could definitely see a design like this come into fruition. So shifting gears now, this Pokemon's already pretty damn good competitively already. I can't really imagine it becoming another type, so let's just keep it the same. Ceruledge having its signature move Bitter Blade actually makes it quite tanky because it's able to regain health and it already has pretty good defensive stats. And for some reason I thought that Ceruledge would be a lot faster, so let's change that. Let's give 30 to both its attack and speed, and then divide the 40 to its defense stats. And that's my Mega Ceruledge. Yeah, let me know down in the comments below, how would you change these Pokemon? What ability, stats, and types would you give them? And let me know if you agree with mine. I'm actually quite interested. So coming in number 3, we have the Moth, the Myth, the Legend, Volcarona. Can I first just say something? This thing should have been a pseudo-legendary. Anyways, man, hands off to the artists. Like, these designs are exactly what I would expect Mega Volcarona to look like. Just like an ethereal, beyond sun god moth thing. I don't know, looks incredible. Okay, but jumping straight into the stats, its base stats are already pretty freaking incredible. I freaking love Volcarona. I'm just gonna be a little bit biased here. I just want to see this thing become a literal monster, more than it already is. Let me just say one more thing before going into the stats. Mega Volcarona with Quiver Dance. I'm shaking just thinking about it. Heck, forget breaking the game. This thing might just break us straight into the multiverse. Okay, let's buff this thing to the moon. So let's do more of what it's already doing best already. Let's add 40 to its special attack, 30 to its special defense, and 30 to its speed. I doubt that Game Freak would ever do this, but if they do, we're living. Alright, flying into the number 2 spot. This next pick is downright dirty. I want to see this one so damn bad. Game Freak, I beg, please make this happen. It's Mega Slaking. I would just love to see this thing go King Kong mode and just wreck everything. Removing that ability Truance as well, oh my gosh. Let's not even think about that. And in case you didn't know, Slaking has a base stat total of 680, which is equal to the likes of Mewtwo, Rayquaza, Saitama, Super Saiyan Goku 3. If this thing removed Truance and got a Mega and increased its base stat total another 100, yeah, this thing is going to be insane. Like, straight up stupid dumb. This thing cooking every Pokemon for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Alright, so what are we doing to the stats? Let's give it 40 in attack, and then give it 20 in both of its defenses, and 20 in speed. Let's not even talk about abilities, because any ability is better than Truant. I mean, if they want to kind of balance it out, I mean, we're beyond balancing, but if they wanted to balance it out, I can see them giving it slow start. Maybe then that's kind of somewhat maybe balanced. This one was kind of a meme one, but to be honest, honestly, I do think people do want to see this. And ladies and gentlemen, coming into the number 1 spot, you know it, I know it, it's Flygon.
Hey, so Game Freak, are you finally gonna give us that Mega Evolution for Flygon?
What's going on with this guy? Game Freak? Mega Flygon, hello?
Not gonna happen.
Hey, Game Freak, so it's been about 10 years. We're getting Mega Flygon for sure, right? Like, it doesn't even need to be good. Just give us one. Although, since we've been waiting this long, screw it. I mean, at this point, it should be the best Mega in the damn game. Mega Flygon should make Mega Rayquaza look like Sakura Haruno at this point from Naruto. Okay, so let's talk stats. I mean, you already know, I'm making this thing as broken as I can. Let's make it Bug Dragon to get rid of that 4x Ice weakness. Now taking a look at Flygon and its stats, we can see that it's mainly a physical type attacker, even though it prefers to use special type moves. So we have two options here. A, we make it a physical type attacker, giving it 50 in its attack and 50 in its speed, which would pair pretty well with Dragon Dance. Also, if it becomes a bug type, giving it Quiver Dance could be pretty cool. And then we have option 2, where we make it a special type attacker, minusing 20 from its attack and putting it into its special attack, and then once again giving it 50 in its speed, and this time 50 in its special attack. Now for abilities, I was thinking Sand Rush to make it super fast, like Excadrill when sand is up, or maybe Intimidate. Either one. One like or subscribe to help us continue abuse.